शिवशक्तिसमारम्भाम् भास्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मच्छ्रीनाथपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ज्ञानिनामपि चेतांसि देवी भगवती हि सा बलादाकृष्य मोहाय महामाया प्रयच्छति दुर्गे स्मृता हरसि भीतिमशेषजन्तो स्वस्यै स्मृता मतिमतीव शुभां ददासि दारिद्र्यदुःखभयहारिणि का त्वधन्या सर्वोपकारकरणाय सदार्द्रचित्ता सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यम्बके गौरि नारायणि नमोऽस्तु ते शरणागतदीनार्तपरित्राणपरायणे सर्वस्यास्तिहरे देवि नारायणि नमोऽस्तु ते सर्वस्वरूपे सर्वेशे सर्वशक्तिसमन्विते भयेभ्यस्त्राहि नो देवि दुर्गे देवि नमोऽस्तु ते रोगानशेषानपहंसि तुष्टारुष्टातु कामान् सकलानभीष्टान् त्वामाश्रितानां न विपन्नराणां त्वामाश्रिता ह्याश्रयतां प्रयान्ति सर्वाबाधाप्रशमनं त्रैलोक्यस्याखिलेश्वरि एवमेव त्वया कार्यमस्मद्वैरिविनाशनम् Welcome everyone. Okay, so we have to review from 6th chapter 21 to 7, so about 11 stanzas each, I think 22 stanzas total. Hey, Madhu, you can do 11, and Soumya, can you do 11?
Yeah.
Soumya, she'll be here in about 5 minutes.
Oh, okay. Maybe, yeah, we can just do it then instead of Soumya, yeah.
Okay.
शुकोपदैत्याधिपतिः शुम्भः प्रस्फुरिताधरः आज्ञापयामास च तौ चण्डमुण्डौ महासुरौ हे चण्ड हे मुण्डबलैर्बहुभिः परिवारितौ तत्र गच्छत गत्वा च सा समानीयतां लघु केशेष्वाकृष्य बद्ध्वा वा यदि वः संशयो युधि तदा शेषायुधैः सर्वैरसुरैर्विनिहन्यतां तस्यां हतायां दुष्टायां सिंहे च विनिपातिते शीघ्रमागम्यतां बद्ध्वा गृहीत्वा तामथाम्बिकाम् ॐ सत्या सन्तु यजमानस्य कामाः नमो देव्यै महादेव्यै शिवायै सततं नमः नमः प्रकृत्यै भद्रायै नियताः प्रणतास्मतां साङ्गायै सायुधायै सपरिवारायै सर्वात्मिकायै शताक्ष्यै धूम्राक्ष्यै नमः ॐ ऋषिरुवाच आज्ञप्तास्ते ततो दैत्याश्चण्डमुण्डपुरोगमाः चतुरङ्गबलोपेता ययुरभ्युद्यतायुधाः ददृशुस्ते ततो देवीम् ईषद्धासां व्यवस्थितां सिंहस्योपरि शैलेन्द्रशृङ्गे महति काञ्चने ते दृष्ट्वा तां समादातुम् उद्यमं चक्रुरुद्यताः आकृष्टचापासिधरास्तथान्येतत्समीपगाः ततः कोपं चकारोचैरम्बिका तानरीन् प्रति कोपेन चास्या वदनं मषीवर्णम् अभूत्तदा भ्रुकुटीकुटिलात्तस्या ललाटफलकादृतं कालीकरालवदना विनिष्क्रान्तासि पाशिनी विचित्रखट्वाङ्गधरा नरमाला विभूषणा द्वीपि चर्मपरिधाना शुष्कमांसातिभैरवा अतिविस्तारवदना जिह्वा ललनभीषणा निमग्ना रक्तनयना नादा पूरितदिङ्मुखा
You can stop there, yeah.
सा वेगेनाभिपतिता घातयन्ती महासुरान् सैन्ये तत्र सुराणीनाम् अभक्षयत तद्बलं पार्ष्णिग्राहाङ्कुशग्राही योधघण्टा समन्वितान् समादायैकहस्तेन मुखे चिक्षेपवारणान् तथैव योद्धं तुरगै रथं सारथिना सह निक्षिप्य वक्त्रे दशनैश्चर्वयन्त्यति भैरवम् एकं जग्राह केशेषु ग्रीवायामथ चापरं पादेनाक्रम्य चैवान्यं उरस उरसान्यमपोतयत् तैर्मुक्तानि च शस्त्राणि महास्त्राणि तथासुरैः मुखेन जग्राह रुषा दशनैर्मतितान्यपि बलिनां तद्बलं सर्वम् असुराणां दुरात्मनां मम म- ममर्धाभय ममर्दाभक्षयच्छान्यान् चातड यत्तथा
Yeah, and
able to
and
do
the
that.
this is ish mamardha bhakshayas nanyamsh chatadayathata.
I'll repeat the shlokam.
Yeah.
बलिनां तद्बलं सर्वम् असुराणां दुरात्मनां ममर्दा भक्ष्ययश्चान्यानन्यांश्चाताडयत्तथा असिना निहिता केचित् खट्वाङ्गताडिताः जग्मुर्विनाशमसुरा दन्ताग्राभिहितास्तथा.
So in Vikramanga, in the first line and the second line also you added extra he instead of a ha. Asina nihata.
Okay.
Nihata.
Asina
Adhe mari danta grabi hatastata.
ग्रन्थाग्राभिः अतस्तथा
Yeah.
असिना निहिता केचित्
No,
केचित्
nihata.
निहत
Asina.
same mistake again. Okay.
Yeah.
असिना निहता केचित् केचित् खड्गाङ्गताडिताः जग्मुर्विनाशमसुरा दन्ताग्राभिहतास्तथा.
Yeah.
Okay. क्षणेन तद्बलं सर्वम् असुराणां निपातितं दृष्ट्वा दुद्राव तां कालीमतिभीषणां शरवर्षैर्महाभीमैर्भीमाक्षीं तां महासुरः छादयामास चक्रैश्च मुण्डः क्षिप्तैः सहस्रशः तानि चक्राण्यनेकानि विशमानानि तन्मुखं बभुर्यथार्कबिम्बानि सुबहुनि गणोदरम् ततो जहासातिरुषा भीमं भैरवनादिनी कालिकरालवक्त्रान्तर्दुर्दर्श दशनोज्ज्वला.
Yeah. I think that's where we stop. 19. Okay. So I think I have to still say the end of the meaning of the seventh chapter, if you remember, right? So just to recap kind of what we were discussing in the seventh chapter, right? So in the sixth chapter, Dhumra Lochana comes and the Kaushiki, like we saw few people come out, right? Kaushiki, who came out from the Kosha of Parvati, she gets rid of Dhumra Lochana with a hum, right? With that. And then in the seventh chapter, two other people come, Chanda and Munda come, and then they come and they will come with all kinds of warriors and infantry and everything. And then we saw from that Kaushiki, from that Devi, emerges another person who's from her brukuti, from her eyebrows, emerges this Kali. So this Kali was described as somebody who's, carrying this, Narama, Vichitra Khadvang Gadara. She's carrying a skull top staff, and then Naramala Vibhushana, she's wearing a garland of skulls. We saw all of that. So, and then the battle that is happening with all these the soldiers are throwing all kinds of weapons, which is Kali just ends up consuming everything, right? That's kind of what we saw. And then finally, what we didn't cover here was then Chanda and Munda are finally coming to battle. So in Chanda and Munda are coming, so this Kali, who's now sitting on this lion as well, she's going in and then she cuts off Chanda's head in one hand. She holds the Chanda's head. And then in Munda, who's the other person who's coming, she also gets rid of him with the spear that she actually has. So Chanda and Munda are both very easily gotten rid of with this Kali. So she takes both of them. She takes the severed heads of Chanda and Munda, and then she goes to the Kaushiki, right, from whom she has actually come forward. And then she goes and says that from you I have come, so I am giving you this Chanda and Munda as my sacrificial offerings to you. So she's holding Chanda and Munda in her hands, right? And then she says, this is surrendering to you. You now take care of Shumbha and Nishumba, who are the main two brothers who the Chanda and Munda are. So this Kaushiki or that Ambika gets very happy with this Kali. So she says, because you got rid of Chanda and Munda, you're going to be called as Chamunda. So when you worship somebody called Chamunda, that is this Kali who gets rid of Chanda and Munda, this Kali who has come from Kaushiki, this Kaushiki who came from Parvati. That's a lineage. Because next chapter, a lot more Devis are going to come forward. So, like we said, you have to remember who is coming from whom, right? And in what sequence. So, with that, this comes to an end. She said, you're going to be called as Chamunda. So, anytime you see somebody worshipping as Chamunda, it is referring to this Devi who gets rid of Chanda and Munda. Okay, so that completes chapter 7, the last few stanzas which we had left in the meaning. So, okay. Okay, Lakshmi, you can be student, and Krishnaveni, you can be student. Utthaya cha mahasimham devi long e chandamadavata grihitva chasya kesheshu shiras tenasi nachinat. That's one word. Shiras tenasi nachinat. उत्थाय च महासिंहं देवी चण्डमदावत गृहीत्वा चास्य केशेषु शिरस्तेनासिनाच्छिनत्.
उत्थाय च महासिंहं देवी चण्डमधावत गृहीत्वा चास्य केशेषु शिरस्तेनासिनाच्छिनत्.
So, if you're following the Sanskrit, I'm assuming.
Telugu.
Okay. Anyway, in the Sanskrit also, the hum is just separated for no reason, but it is just simham. Okay, so you don't have to. So it's Mahasimham. So it's referring to the lion. Yeah. It just he's sitting on the mighty lion.
उत्थाय च महासिंहं देवी चण्डमधावत गृहीत्वा चास्य केशेषु शिरस्तेनासिनाच्छिनत्.
उत्थाय च महासिंहं देवी चण्डमदावत गृहीत्वा चास्य केशेषु शिरस्तेनासिनाचिनत्. उत्थाय च महासिंहं देवी चण्डमदावत गृहीत्वा चास्य केशेषु शिरस्तेनासिनाचिनत्.
Yeah, Krishnaveni, I see you logged in 2 times. I don't know if it's my phone.
That is why, because I was not able to enter.
Okay. Okay. I don't know if both of them audio is on, but anyway. अथ मुण्डोऽभ्य धावतां दृष्ट्वा चण्डं निपातितं तमप्यपातयत् भूमौ सा खड्गाभिहतं रुषा. अथ मुण्डोऽभ्यधावतां दृष्ट्वा चण्डं निपातितं तमप्यपातयत् भूमौ सा खड्गाभिहतं रुषा.
अथ मुण्डोऽभ्यधावतं दृष्ट्वा चण्डं निपातितं तमप्यापातयद्भूमौ सा खड्गाभिहतं रुषा. अथ मुण्डोऽभ्यधावतां दृष्ट्वा चण्डं निपातितं तमप्यपातयद्भूमौ सा खड्गाभिहतं रुषा.
अथ मुण्डोऽभ्यधावतं दृष्ट्वा चण्डं निपातितं तमप्यपातयद्भूमौ सा खड्गाभिहतं रुषा.
The first line, Dhavatam Drishtva.
Okay, Dhavatam. अथ मुण्डोऽभ्यधावतां दृष्ट्वा चण्डं निपातितं तमप्यपातयद्भूमौ सा खड्गाभिहतं रुषा.
Hata Shesham Tataha Putta is Tatas Sainyam Drishtva Chandam Nipatitam Mundam Cha Su Mahaviryam Disho Bheje Bhayaturam. So when both Chanda and Munda fell, the rest of the army who was there, they all just run away. Hatashesham tatas sainyam drishtva chandam nipatitam mundam cha sumahaviryam disho bheje bhayaturam.
अथ शेषं ततः सैन्यं दृष्ट्वा चण्डं निपातितं मुण्डं च सुमहावीर्यं दिशो भेजे भयातुरम्. अथ शेषं ततः सैन्यं दृष्ट्वा चण्डं निपातितं मुण्डं च सुमहावीर्यं दिशो भेजे भयातुरम्
हतशेषं ततः सैन्यं दृष्ट्वा चण्डं निपातितं मुण्डं च सुमहावीर्यं दिशो भेजे भयात्रुतं तुरम् हतशेषं ततः सैन्यं दृष्ट्वा चण्डं निपातितं मुण्डं च सुमहावीर्यं दिशो भेजे भयातुरम्
शिरश् छन्दस्य काली च गृहीत्वा मुण्डमेव च प्राह प्रचण्डाट्टहासम् attahasam, remember that word, prachandattahasam, break at that ma. Next word will start with the e. Ishram abhyetya chandikam. So attahasa means somebody who's like, it's in this case referring to laughing very loudly. So this Kali, she's like gotten rid of Chanda and Munda. She's carrying the heads of Chanda and Munda, and she's coming with that loud laughter and coming to Chandika, and she's going to say that. So that's where that attahasam word is coming there. शिरश्चण्डस्य काली च गृहीत्वा मुण्डमेव च प्राह प्रचण्डाट्टहासम् इश्रमभ्येत्य चण्डिकाम्.
शिरश्चण्डस्य काली च गृहीत्वा मुण्डमेव च प्राह प्रचण्डाट्टहासमिश्रमेभ्येत्य चण्डिकाम्
Ishram abhyetya chandikam.
इश्रमभ्य शिरश्चण्डस्य काली च गृहीत्वा मुण्डमेव च प्राह प्रचण्डाट्टहासम् इश्रम् अभ्येत्य चण्डिकाम्
शिरश्चण्डस्य काली च गृहीत्वा मुण्डमेव च प्राह प्रचण्डाट्टहासमिश्रमभ्येत्य
Krishna, the break at that im. At praha prachandatahasam.
प्राह प्रचण्डाट्टहासम् इश्रमभ्येत्य चण्डिकाम्
Yeah.
शिरश्चण्डस्य काली च गृहीत्वा मुण्डमेव च प्राह प्रचण्डाट्टहासम् इश्रमभ्येत्य चण्डिकाम्
Maya tavatro pahritau chanda mundau mahapashu yuddha yagne swayam shumbham nishumbham cha hanishyasi. Then you yourself get rid of Shumba and Nishumba. मया तवात्रो पहृतौ चण्डमुण्डौ महापशु युद्धयज्ञे स्वयं शुम्भं निशुम्भं च हनिष्यसि.
मया तवात्रोपहृतो चण्डमुण्डौ महापशु युद्धयज्ञे स्वयं शुम्भं निशुम्भं च हनिष्यसि मया तवात्रोपहृतो चण्डमुण्डो महापशु युद्धयज्ञे स्वयं शुम्भं निशुम्भं च हनिष्यसि
Krishna, when you mute. Krishna, when you're still on mute. Okay, anyway, we'll go to the next one. Rishiru vacha तावानीतौ ततो दृष्ट्वा चण्डमुण्डौ महासुरौ उवाच कालीं कल्याणी ललितं चण्डिका वचः. ऋषिरुवाच तावानीतौ ततो दृष्ट्वा चण्डमुण्डौ महासुरौ उवाच कालीं कल्याणी ललितं चण्डिका वचः.
ऋषिरुवाच तावानीतौ ततो दृष्ट्वा चण्डमुण्डौ महासुरौ उवाच कालीं कल्याणी ललितं चण्डिका वचः
That Kali, Lakshmi, you were saying Kali, just Kali. Remember we discussed last time, right? So Kali,
sorry
Kalim, yeah.
ऋषिरुवाच तावानीतौ ततो दृष्ट्वा चण्डमुण्डौ महासुरौ उवाच कालीं कल्याणी Lalitam Chandika Vachaha. So
Okay.
Kalyani is Allah, right?
No, no.
Not.
No, even the la, there's ill only. The na is the na. Kalyani, that's the second, the other na.
Yeah. That is Anna. That
Hmm.
Allah,
Yeah,
Kalyani is
that
the.
is small ill only, just a regular ill.
Okay.
Kalyani. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Uvacha Kalim Kalyani Lalitam Chandika Vachaha.
I think Krishnaveni is dropped. Now, Isha, you can be a student. Continue.
ऋषिरुवाच तावानीतौ ततो दृष्ट्वा चण्डमुण्डौ महासुरौ उवाच कालीं कल्याणी ललितं चण्डिकावचः ऋषिरुवाच तावानीतौ ततो दृष्ट्वा चण्डमुण्डौ महासुरौ उवाच कालीं कल्याणी ललितं चण्डिकावचः
Yasmach chandam cha mundam cha grihitva tvamupagata chamundeti tato loke khyata devi short e bhavishyasi short e again. Yasmach chandam cha mundam cha grihitva tvamupagata chamundeti tato loke khyata devi bhavishyasi.
यस्माश्चण्डं च मुण्डं च गृहीत्वा तमुपागता चामुण्डेति ततो लोके ख्याता देवि भविष्यसि ॐ यस्माश्चण्डं च मुण्डं च गृहीत्वा तमुपागता चामुण्डेति ततो लोके ख्याता देवि भविष्यसि ॐ
यस्माच्चण्डं च मुण्डं च गृहीत्वा त्वमुपागता चामुण्डेति ततो लोके ख्याता देवि भविष्यसि ॐ यस्माच्चण्डं च मुण्डं च गृहीत्वा त्वमुपागता चामुण्डेति ततो लोके ख्याता देवि भविष्यसि ॐ
सत्या सन्तु यजमानस्य कामा आह नमो देव्यै महादेव्यै शिवायै सततं नमः नमः प्रकृत्यै भद्रायै नियताः प्रणतास्मतां साङ्घायै सायुधायै सपरिवारायै सर्वात्मिकायै कर्पूरबीजाधिष्ठात्र्यै काली लॉन्ग ई काली चामुण्डा देव्यै नमः
सत्याः सन्तु यजमानस्य कामाः ॐ नमो देव्ये महादेव्ये शिवायै सततं नमः नमः प्रकृत्यै भद्रायै नियतः प्रणतां स्मतां साङ्गायै सायुधायै सपरिवारायै सर्वात्मिकायै कर्पूरबीजादिष्ट्यात्रे काली चामुण्डा देव्यै नमः 2 times or 1
One
time?
time is okay.
सत्या सन्तु यजमानस्य कामाः नमो देव्यै महादेव्यै शिवायै सततं नमः नमः प्रकृत्यै भद्रायै नियताः प्रणतास्मतां साङ्गायै सायुधायै सपरिवारायै सर्वात्मिकायै बीजाधिष्ठात्रै काली चामुण्डादेव्यै नमः
Okay, Ashtamodhyaya. The eighth is a little bit of a tough chapter. I mean, some of the words which come there are relatively harder than the other ones. So this is Rakta Bija. So even before you go battle Shumbha and Nishuma, there's another person who's going to come called Rakta Bija. Like we saw in chapter 6 when we said Dhumra Lochana. Each of this you could kind of to some extent relate to the various faults that we have, right? So Dhumra Lochana is Dhumra means cloud. So Lochana is perception. So Dhumra Lochana is when our perception is clouded, right? When we are clouded with a wrong perception of what things are. So in chapter 6, when Kali is getting rid of Dhumra Lochana, she's getting rid of the wrong perceptions that we actually have. Chanda is referring to anger, and Munda refers to a lack of sense, a lack of knowledge. So when she's getting rid of Chanda and Munda, she's eliminating the anger that we have and the lack of sense that we actually have. This one is an interesting one, is a Rakta Bija. Rakta Bija refers to like the source of all our desires, right? And if you think of all the desires we have, you have a desire for anything, doesn't matter. You you can't, it's very difficult to eliminate the source. You can remove it on the surface, right? You want to stop eating something. I'm trying to stop eating sugar this year for a few days. I went to Satya's house, Gomati's sister's house, and she gave me a rasgulla. I said, Satya, this is my day 2 of not eating sugar. I don't want to eat it, right? So for a few days we can control it, but then the source of it is very hard. So that's what we're going to see in this Rakta Bija when Kali is going to fight this Rakta Bija. No matter how many times she's killing this Rakta Bija, he'll never die, right? Because it just keeps coming. You can only keep eliminating the surface. Eventually, she'll get rid of him. We'll see how she'll get rid of him. But that's what this Rakta Bija reference here is, right? Is an insatiable source of desire that we have for anything that we have. And to get rid of it, eliminating it from the root, that's this chapter. So we'll go through some stanzas and then I'll tell the story. Om Rishiru Vacha Chande cha nihate daitye munde cha vinipatite bahuleshu cha sainyeshu kshayiteshva sureshwaraha. Cannot break that word. Kshayiteshva sureshwaraha. Om Rishirhuvacha Chande cha nihate daitye munde cha vinipatite bahuleshu cha sainyeshu kshayiteshva sureshwaraha.
ॐ ऋषिरुवाच चण्डे च निहते दैत्ये मुण्डे च विनिपातिते बहुलेशेषु सैन्येषु क्षयितेष्वसुरेश्वरः
Second line, first word. Bahuleshu.
बहुलेषु ॐ ऋषिरुवाच चण्डे च निहते दैत्ये मुण्डे च विनिपातिते बहुलेषु च सैन्येषु क्षयितेष्वसुरेश्वरः
ॐ ऋषिरुवाच चण्डे च निहते दैत्ये मुण्डे च विनिपातिते बहुलेषु च सैन्येषु क्षयितेष्वसुरेश्वरः ॐ ऋषिरुवाच चण्डे च निहते दैत्ये मुण्डे च विनिपातिते बहुलेषु च सैन्येषु क्षयितेष्वसुरेश्वरः
Tataha, put a ich sound. Tatah kopa paradhina chetaha, put a ish. Chetash shumbhaha, put a f to join. Shumbhaf pratapavan udyogam sarva sainyanam daityanam, breaking at that ma, daityanam adidesha. ततः कोपपराधीन चेता शुम्भः प्रतापवान् उद्योगं सर्वसैन्यानां दैत्यानाम् आदिदेशः.
ततः कोपपराधीनचेताः शुम्भः प्रतापवान् उद्योगं सर्वसैन्यानां दैत्यानाम् आदिदेशः ततः कोपपराधीनचेताः शुम्भः प्रतापवान् उद्योगं सर्वसैन्यानां दैत्यानाम् आदिदेशः
ततः कोपपराधीनचेता शुम्भः प्रतापवान् उद्योगं सर्वसैन्यानां दैत्यानाम् आदिदेशः ततः कोपपराधीनचेता शुम्भः प्रतापवान् उद्योगं सर्वसैन्यानां दैत्यानाम् आदिदेशः
अद्य सर्व बलैर दैत्याः, put a ish, दैत्याश Shadashitir. I'm breaking at that ru. It will be easier. Shadashitir udayudaha kambunam chaturashitir ir sound chitir niryantu swa balair vritaha. Adya sarva balair daitya shadashitirudaayudhaha kambunam chaturashitir niryantu swa balair vritaha.
अद्य सर्वबलैर्दैत्याः षडशीतिरुदायुधाः कम्बूनां चतुरशीतिर्निर्यान्तु स्वबलैर्वृताः अद्य सर्वबलैर्दैत्या षडशीतिरुदायुधाः कम्बूनां चतुरशीतिर्निर्यान्तु स्वबलैर्वृताः
अद्य सर्वबलैर्दैत्या षडशीतिरुदायुधाः कम्बूनां चतुरशीतिर्निर्यान्तु स्वबलैर्वृत्ताः अद्य सर्वबलैर्दैत्या षडशीतिरुदायुधाः कम्बूनां चतुरशीतिर्निर्यान्तु स्वबलैर्वृताः
कोटि वीर्याणि panchashat. So I'm breaking at the da, it and the a. Panchashat asuranam. Next word. Asuranam kulani vai. Shatam kulani dhaumranam nirgachantu mamagnyaya. Koti viryani panchashat asuranam kulani vai. Shatam kulani dhaumranam nirgachantu mamagnyaya.
कोटिवीर्याणि पञ्चाशद् असुराणां कुलानि वै शतं कुलानि धौम्राणां निर्गच्छन्तु ममाज्ञया कोटिवीर्याणि पञ्चाशदसुराणां कुलानि वै शतं कुलानि धौम्राणां निर्गच्छन्तु ममाज्ञया
कोटिवीर्याणि पञ्चाशत् असुराणां कुलानि वै शतं कुलानि धौम्राणां निर्गच्छन्तु ममाज्ञया कोटिवीर्याणि पञ्चाशत् असुराणां कुलानि वै शतं कुलानि धौम्राणां निर्गच्छन्तु ममाज्ञया.
We just switched halfway. Vidya, you can be student, and Mridulaji, you can be student. Khalaka daurhrida mauryaha put mauryah kalakeyas tathasuraha yuddhaya sajja niryantu agnyaya tvarita mama. कालका दौर्हृदा मौर्याः कालकेयास्तथासुराः युद्धाय सज्जा निर्यान्तु आज्ञया त्वरिता मम.
कालकादौर्हृदा मौर्याः कालकेयास्तथासुराः युद्धाय सज्जा निर्यान्तु आज्ञया त्वरिता मम. कालकादौर्हृदा मौर्यः कालकेयास्तथासुराः युद्धाय सज्जा निर्यान्तु आज्ञया त्वरिता मम.
कालकादौर्हृदा मौर्याः कालकेयास्तथासुराः युद्धाय सज्जा निर्यान्तु आज्ञया त्वरिता मम. कालकादौर्हृदा मौर्याः कालकेयास्तथासुराः युद्धाय सज्जा निर्यान्तु आज्ञया त्वरिता मम.
इत्याज्ञाप्यासुर, one word. इत्याज्ञाप्यासुर patihi put ish patish शुंभो भैरव शासनः निर्जगाम महासैन्य सहस्रैर् बहुभिर्वृतः. इत्याज्ञाप्यासुरपतिः शुंभो भैरव शासनः निर्जगाम महासैन्य सहस्रैर् बहुभिर्वृतः.
इत्याज्ञाप्यासुरपतिः शुंभो भैरवशासनः निर्जगाम महासैन्यः सहस्रैर्बहुभिर्वृतः. इत्याज्ञाप्यासुरपतिः शुंभो भैरवशासनः निर्जगाम महासैन्यः सहस्रैर्बहुभिर्वृतः.
इत्याज्ञाप्यासुरपतिः शुंभो भैरव शासनः निर्जगाम महासैन्य सहस्रैर्बहुभिर्वृतः इत्याज्ञाप्यासुरपतिः भैरवशासनः निर्जगाम महासैन्य सहस्रैर्बहुभिर्वृतः
आयान्तं चण्डिका दृष्ट्वा तत्सैन्यम् अतिभीषणं, which is breaking at that ma, तत्सैन्यम् अतिभीषणं ज्यास्वनैः, put a F, ज्यास्वनैः पूरयामास धरणी गगनान्तरम्. आयान्तं चण्डिका दृष्ट्वा तत्सैन्यम् अतिभीषणं ज्यास्वनैः पूरयामास धरणी गगनान्तरम्.
आयान्तं चण्डिका दृष्ट्वा तत्सैन्यम् अतिभीषणम् ज्यास्वनैः पूरयामास धरणी गगनान्तरम्. आयान्तं चण्डिका दृष्ट्वा ततः सैन्यम् अतिभीषणम् ज्यास्वनैः पूरयामास धरणी गगनान्तरम्.
First line, tat sainyam. I think second time you said something else. First time you got it. Tat sainyam atibhishanam.
Tat sainyam atibhishanam.
आयान्तं चण्डिका दृष्ट्वा तत्सैन्यम् अतिभीषणं ज्यासैन्यैः पूरयामास धरणी गगनान्तरम्.
Second line, first word, ज्यास्वनैः.
ज्यास्वनैः.
Yeah.
Okay. आयान्तं चण्डिका दृष्ट्वा तत्सैन्यम् अतिभीषणं ज्यास्वनैः पूरयामास धरणी गगनान्तरम्.
ततः, put is, tatas simho mahanadam, breaking at that ma, mahanadam ativa kritavan nripa ghanta swanena tannadam, again breaking at that ma, tannadam ambika chopa brimhayate. ततः सिंहो महानादम् अतीव कृतवान् नृप घण्टास्वनेन तन्नादम् अम्बिका चोपबृंहयते.
What's the meaning of Brahmayat?
I don't know what the Brahmayat mean. I don't know.
Okay. Tata simho mahanadam ativa kritavan nrupa घंटा स्वनेन तन्नादम् अंबिका चोपबृंहयत्. ततः सिंहो महानादम् अतीव कृतवान् नृपा घंटा स्वनेन तन्नादम् अंबिका चोपबृंहयत्.
ततः सिंहो महानादम् अतीव कृतवान् नृप. How does this tune? How do you cut it?
ततः सिंहो महानादम् अतीव कृतवान् नृप. Just
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. ततः सिंहो महानादम् अतीव कृतवान् नृप घण्टास्वनेन तन्नादम् अम्बिका चोपबृंहयत्. ततः सिंहो महानादम् अतीव कृतवान् नृप घण्टस्वनेन तन्नादम् अम्बिका चोपबृंहयत्.
धनुर्ज्या सिंह घंटानां नादापूरित दिङ्मुखा निनादैर्भीषणैः, put a ich, भीषणैः काली, long e, जिग्ये विस्तारितानना. Here the ghanta refers to the bell, so she's making noise from the bell, which I'll tell later, but yeah. धनुर्ज्या सिंह घंटानां नादापूरित दिङ्मुखा निनादैर्भीषणैः काली जिग्ये विस्तारितानना.
धनुर्ज्या सिंह घंटानां नादापूरित दिङ्मुखा निनादैर्भीषणैः काली जिग्ये विस्तारितानना. धनुर्ज्या सिंह घंटानां नादापूरित दिङ्मुखा निनादैर्भीषणैः काली जिग्ये विस्तारितानना.
धनुर्ज्या सिंहगण्ठानां नादा पूरितदिग्मुखा निनादैर्भीषणैः काली जिग्वे विस्तारितानना
Jig ye ya sound. Jig ye.
जिग्ये okay GYA right
No, no. Jig. Gigya. Jig. Jigya. Jig ye.
जिग्वे okay
Jig ye.
धनुर्जा सिंहगण्ठानां नादा पूरितदिग्मुखा निनादैर्भीषणैः काली जिग्ये विस्तारितानना
Tam ninadam, breaking at that ma, ninadam upashritya daitya sainyaish chatur disham devi long e devi simhas tata kali saroshaihi, put a F, saroshaif parivaritaha. तं निनादमुपश्रुत्य दैत्यसैन्यैश्चतुर्दिशं देवी सिंहस्तथा काली सरोषैः परिवारिताः
तं निनादम् उपश्रुत्य दैत्यसैन्यैश्चतुर्दिशं देवी सिंहस्तथा काली सरोषैः परिवारिताः तं निनादम् उपश्रुत्य दैत्यसैन्यैश्चतुर्दिशं देवी सिंहस्तथा काली सरोषैः परिवारिताः
तं निनादम् उपश्रुत्य दैत्यसैन्यैश्चतुर्दिशं देवी सिंहस्तथा काली सरोषैः परिवारिताः तं निनादम् उपश्रुत्य दैत्यसैन्यैश्चतुर्दिशं देवी सिंहस्तथा काली सरोषैः परिवारिताः
एतस्मिन्नन्तरे भूप विनाशाय सुरद्विषां भवायाम् अर सिंहानां, breaking at that ma, भवायामर सिंहानां, next word with a अति वीर्य बलान्विताः एतस्मिन्नन्तरे भूप विनाशाय सुरद्विषां भवायामर सिंहानां अति वीर्य बलान्विताः
एतस्मिन्नन्तरे भूप विनाशाय सुरद्विषां भवायामरसिंहानाम् अतिवीर्यबलान्विताः एतस्मिन्नन्तरे भूप विनाशाय सुरद्विषां भवायामरसिंहानाम् अतिवीर्यबलान्विताः
एतस्मिन्नन्तरे भूप विनाशाय सुरद्विषाम् एव भवायाम् अरसिंहानाम् अतिवीर्यबलान्विताः एतस्मिन्नन्तरे भूप विनाशाय सुरद्विषाम् भवायाम् नरसिंहानाम् अतिवीर्यबलान्विताः
We're going to pause here. I just want to say the meaning before we get to 13 because there's a little bit change coming from there. So we saw Chanda and Munda were gotten ridden in the previous one. So when Chanda and Munda, who are the biggest commanders or warriors that Shumbha and Nishumba had. So when they were gotten rid of, Shumbha was like very upset. So he's getting even more angry. So he's actually calling a whole bunch of people, which is what all came earlier. So when you say Kalaka, the stanza 6, Kalaka, Daurhrida, Maurya, Kalakeyaha. So all of those are different like clans or groups of people, right? So he's calling all of these different people, Koti Viryani Panchash. He's calling like crores and crores of people. So all these different groups he's actually calling, Shumba and Nishumba are calling, saying that, this Devi who he thought was just an ordinary woman, who he had said, go drag her by the hair and come. She's very powerful than he thought. So he's actually, invoking all these different clans of people to actually go and then to battle with her. So all these different people are actually coming with thousands and thousands of people. So when all of them are coming, right now, you have to remember there are two people right now, right? There's one, which is Kaushiki, who's a Chandika, who came from Parvati. And then there is the Kali, who came from the Chandika. So they are the two people, two women right now who are battling right now. So when all these people are coming, they both are getting ready, so that's why, all this Nada, Ghantas, all that word came, right? So they are essentially ready for battle. Both the Devis are ready for battle. That's why Ambika is like using her bell to create a noise. One of them is using their bow to create a noise. And then the lion, of course, is roaring, right? Terrifying roar that is actually coming. So when all this is coming, there's just noise on all sides. The two Devis and the lions are ready to fight. But in this case, it is a very complicated because the people who are coming, this person who's Rakta Bija, who is the primary person who is going to come to battle, along with all these people, are very powerful. So the Devis alone cannot fight them. Now, if you go back to Mahishasura Vadam, when we talked about, so at that time we saw how from the various gods, like from Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, Indra, Agni, Varuna, on all the demigods, a light came, all of that light met, and from that intersection of the light, one form of Devi came. She is the one who got rid of Mahishasura, right? So that was the case in the previous case. In this case, it's not going to be like that. From each of the gods, a Devi form is going to come out, which is the female representation of that god. Okay, so you're going to see a lot of these names come. Now, there's a place where when we were doing what do you call Devi Kavacham, the very beginning, right? So when we were talking about the directions, protection, right? It says, Dakshineva tu Varahi Nairityam Khadgadharini Varahi Pratichyam Varuni Rakshet Vayavyam. So all these names came, of all the Devis, right? I don't know if you remember, but I told you it'll come later in the 8th chapter. So all these 8 Devis are going to come from each of the gods. So in stanza, wait one second. Stanza 14, if you look at it, Yasya Devasya Yadrupam Yatha Bhushana Vahanam Tadvadevahi Tachaktir Asuran Yodhmayayo. So from each of the gods, a female representation of that god comes up, which is the Devi of that god, who will have the same Bhushanam, they'll have the same decorations of that, they'll have the same Vahanam, they'll have the same vehicle as a god, and they will also have this Yadrupam, they'll also have the same form, and they will also have the same weapon that the god is going to carry. So the next set of 8 stanzas from stanza 15 to 22 is going to talk about each Devi who is actually going to come from each of the gods. So I'll tell you, that's why I wanted to break here before that transition is happening there. Where did we stop? Yeah, so stanza 13. So Brahmesha, so Brahma, Isha, right? From Shiva, Brahma, Vishnu, all of them, the various, so all of them, the gods are going to come now. So Brahmesha, Guha, Vishnunam, Tatendrasya, Cha Shaktayah, Sharirebhyo Vinishkramya, Tadrupaish Chandikam Yayuhu. ब्रह्मेश गुह विष्णूनां ततेन्द्रस्य च शक्तयः शरीरेभ्यो विनिष्क्रम्य तद्रूपैश्चण्डिकां ययुः.
ब्रह्मेश गुह विष्णूनां तथेन्द्रस्य च शक्तयः शरीरेभ्यो विनिष्क्रम्य तद्रूपैश्चण्डिकां ययुः. ब्रह्मेश गुह विष्णूनां तथेन्द्रस्य च शक्तयः शरीरेभ्यो विनिष्क्रम्य तद्रूपैश्चण्डिकां ययुः.
ब्रह्मेश गुहविष्णूनां तदेन्द्रस्य च शक्तयः शरीरेभ्यो विनिष्क्रम्य चण्डिकां ययुः. ब्रह्मेश गुहविष्णूनां तदेन्द्रस्य च शक्तयः शरीरेभ्यो विनिष्क्रम्य तद्रूपैश्चण्डिकां ययुः.
यस्य देवस्य यद्रूपं यथा भूषण वाहनं Tadvadeva hi tachaktir ir. And then break with the a. Tachaktir asuran yodhum ayayo. Yasya devasya yadrupam yatha bhushana vahanam. Tadvadeva hi tachaktir asuran yodhum ayayo.
यस्य देवस्य यद्रूपं यथा भूषणवाहनं तद्वदेव हि तच्छक्तिरसुरान् योद्धुमाययौ यस्य देवस्य यद्रूपं यथा भूषणवाहनं तद्वदेव हि तच्छक्तिरसुरान् योद्धुमाययौ
यस्य देवस्य यद्रूपं यथा भूषणवाहनं तद्वदेव हि तच्छक्तिर् असुरान् योद्धुम् आययौ.
Ayayo, yeah.
Ayayau.
Yeah.
Thank you. यस्य देवस्य यद्रूपं यथा भूषणवाहनं तद्वदेव हि तच्छक्तिर् असुरान् योद्धुम् आययौ.
Hamsa yukta vimanagre saksha sutra kamandaluhu ayata brahmanaha, put ish, brahmanash shaktir brahmani sabhidhiyate. Some of it is easy to understand. So from Brahma came a female energy who's called as Brahmani. So this Brahmani had the same Vahanam as Brahma, which she had swan as her Vahanam. And then she came forward with a prayer bead and then a Kamandaluhu, a water jug or water pot in her hand. So that is a female version of Brahma, which is actually coming up called Brahmani. Hamsa yukta vimanagre saksha sutra kamandaluhu ayata brahmana shaktir brahmani sabhidiyate.
हंसयुक्तविमानाग्रे साक्षसूत्रकमण्डलुः आयाता ब्रह्मणः शक्तिर्ब्रह्माणि साभिधीयते हंसयुक्तविमानाग्रे साक्षसूत्रकमण्डलुः आयाता ब्रह्मणः शक्तिर्ब्रह्माणि साभिधीयते
हंसयुक्तविमानाग्रे साक्षसूत्रकमण्डलुः आयाता ब्रह्मणः शक्तिर्ब्रह्माणि स्वाभिधीयते.
Sabhidiyate.
There's no swa.
Yeah, no va.
Okay, thank you. Sabhidiyate. Hamsayukta-vimanaagre sakshasutrakamandaluhu ayata brahmana shaktir brahmani sabhidiyate.
Maheshwari vrisharudha trishula varadharini Mahahivalaya Prapta Chandra Rekha Vibhushana. So from Maheshwara, from Shiva came a female energy who was riding a bull, right? That is the Vahanam, who is holding a trident, who has serpents around the arms, around the body, and then who has a Chandra Rekha Vibhushana, who has a crescent moon on the head. So she is called as Maheshwari because she comes from Maheshwara. Maheshwari Vrisharudha Trishulavaradharini Mahahivalaya Prapta Chandra Rekha Vibhushana.
माहेश्वरी वृषारूढा त्रिशूलवरधारिणी महाहीवलया प्राप्ता चन्द्ररेखा विभूषणा
Second line, first word. Mahahivalaya, short he.
महाहिवलया
Yeah.
माहेश्वरी वृषारूढा त्रिशूलवरधारिणी महाहिवलया प्राप्ता चन्द्ररेखा विभूषणा
So that word ahi means a snake. Valaya is a bangle. So one who wears snakes as bangles. So maha, but because that maha is coming, that a sound gets joined with that ahi. So maha hivalaya prapta.
महाहिवलया प्राप्ता
Yeah.
माहेश्वरी वृषारूढा त्रिशूलवरधारिणी महाहिवलया प्राप्ता चन्द्ररेखा विभूषणा माहेश्वरी वृषारूढा त्रिशूलवरधारिणी महाहिवलया प्राप्ता चन्द्ररेखा विभूषणा
कौमारी शक्तिहस्ता च मयूरवरवाहना योद्धुं break at the ma abhyayayau दैत्यान् break at that na ambika guha rupini guha or kartik or kumara refers to kartikeya or muruga, so from that kumara came kaumari. So because she's coming from kartikeya, she's riding a peacock and then she has a spear in her hand to fight the daityas. So with the spear, so that's a kaumari. कौमारी शक्तिहस्ता च मयूरवरवाहना योद्धुमभ्याययौ दैत्यान् अम्बिका गुहरूपिणी.
So they're Daityam or Daityan?
Daityan.
Daityan.
Yeah.
कौमारी शक्तिहस्ता च मयूरवरवाहना योद्धुम् अभ्याययौ दैत्यान् अम्बिका गुहरूपिणी. कौमारी शक्तिहस्ता च मयूरवरवाहना योद्धुम् अभ्याययौ दैत्यान् अम्बिका गुहरूपिणी.
कौमारी शक्तिहस्ता च मयूरवरवाहना योद्धुम् अभ्याययौ दैत्यानम्बिका गुहरूपिणी कौमारी शक्तिहस्ता च मयूरवरवाहना योद्धुम् अभ्याययौ दैत्यान् अम्बिका गुहरूपिणी.
We'll do one more. तथैव वैष्णवी शक्तिर् गरुडोपरि संस्थिता शंख चक्र गदा शार्ंग खड्ग हस्ताभ्युपाययौ. Next from Vishnu comes Vaishnavi. So because she's Vaishnavi coming from Vishnu, she's mounted on Garuda and then she has a conch, a discus, a mace, a bow, sword, 8-handed. So 8-handed Devi here. So she's carrying all of the respective weapons of Vishnu. तथैव वैष्णवी शक्तिर्गरुडोपरि संस्थिता शंख चक्र गदा शार्ंग खड्ग हस्ताभ्युपाययौ.
तथैव वैष्णवी शक्तिर्गरुडोपरि संस्थिता शङ्खचक्रगदाशाङ्ग खड्गहस्ताभ्युपाययौ. तथैव वैष्णवी शक्तिर्गरुडोपरि संस्थिता शङ्खचक्रगदाशाङ्ग खड्गहस्ताभ्युपाययौ.
तथैव वैष्णवी शक्तिर्गरुडोपरि संस्थिता शङ्खचक्रगदाशाङ्ग खड्गहस्ताभ्युपाययौ. तथैव वैष्णवी शक्तिर्गरुडोपरि संस्थिता शङ्खचक्रगदाशाङ्ग खड्गहस्ताभ्युपाययौ.
We'll stop here today. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. That was the 4. Then 4 more are going to come after this. So we'll see you in the next class. Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Rajesh.
Thank you,
Rajesh.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.